This video here, I'm going to talk you through how we will use the Hawk spectrophotometer. It looks something like this. And we'll be running the test dissolved oxygen, nitrate, and phosphate. I have a little hand guide that's going to talk me through the steps. I'll do it visually for you to see. I'll do it in a sequence of different videos. Here's a cell that has river water itself. We just were outside. This is kind of a new trial for me. Here's the actual water we collected itself. We came inside. It's been about 25 minutes. It's been about 25 minutes since we collected it. So I'm hoping the temperature should be relatively stable. And I will test in this order. I'll test dissolved oxygen first. Very important. It's temperature dependent. So as the temperature changes, so does the dissolved oxygen. So I need to get on this. We'll do nitrate, we'll do phosphate. And I'll do these as a series of videos. So the first thing we need to do, we need to make sure we know how to run our tests here. And as I run this test, right here, right now, I'm actually going to need to creatively do this. So set this up, kind of freestyle in here. Notice that here's my ampule. This is a vacuum in the chamber here. When I break it along the side, water is going to be pushed up it. Now, in here, you will see that I have the sample in here. So I'm going to move over to the side here. This is kind of new for me. I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of trying this out. Pour a little sample in here just to make sure that everything's full. Put the lid here, and I go through my set of steps. And the first part of this here is to shake it for 30 seconds. So I'm going to shake. And I'm tipping upside down, I'm shaking it, I'm kind of touching from the top and the bottom. 30 seconds here. And I'll give this one a chance. You won't have to watch the whole time I shake that. So I'm going to get the second one going. And you will see here's my other sample. Once again, here's my dissolved oxygen. Notice it's a dry reagent. It's going to be mixing with the river water itself. I'm going to do the same step. Break it underneath here. Just push up into the chamber, into the cell. Notice I pull it out. It's kind of got this yellowish color to it. And I will put some of this water into the lid. I'll bring the camera over here so you can see it this time. Once again, this is new for me too. Trying something out. And then notice I flip this upright. And I shake this one for 30 seconds. And the other one's waiting. The other one has to wait for 2 minutes. So the waiting for 2 minutes while this one is shaking kind of gives us a little time difference between here. So in the meantime, give this 30-second shake. Once again, we're agitating, we're mixing up. Notice this purple coloration. We want to make sure that we have a chance to have the reagent mix up here. And I'm going to actually wash my hand. Anytime I touch that reagent there, it's dangerous to have chemical on your hands, in your body. So I'm just using good lab practice there. So, and I'm also wearing goggles just in case. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up the Hawk spectrophotometer. And I have to run through these steps here. The first part here, I kind of broke them and I shook them and I'm giving them a 2-minute wait. So I'm going to need to get the Hawk spectrophotometer set up. So this is what we have going on here. I'm going to be placing it inside here. This is where the ampule goes that's going to be taking a reading, and light is shined through it. If nothing is in there, all of the light makes it through. If I put a cell in there, an ampule in there, and light is shining through, not all of it makes its way through. And it's able to digitally read out exactly how much makes its way in and how much doesn't. So the first thing here, let me get a little angle so I can see this without the glare. Let's take through this. Okay, so I have my numbers all ready to go. I'm going to be testing for dissolved oxygen, so I can touch this here, select by number. This is number 445. Okay, that is dissolved oxygen. I'm going to go ahead and start it. And I need to do what's called zero it. And this is where this cell here comes into play. This one here, this is just the river water. This is what I'm comparing it to. So here, I'm going to zero it in. And zeroing, and I get a measurement here. And it's 0, 0, right? It's just zeroing. It's just saying, okay, here's what the river water came directly from here. So now I'm ready to run my tests. Now, I need to make sure I clean these up. So in cleaning them off, I'm going to take a paper towel. And I'm actually going to clean them off. My 2 minutes is up. It says first I need to shake for 30 more seconds. And I'll go ahead and get them both going. Even though they're slightly off, we'll be okay. We'll be close enough. So 2 shakes at once, two going at a time. I need to be very careful here. These here are, right, they're chemicals, so I want to be careful of how much they get on my skin. And having said that, I'm going to clean it off, clean the outside of it off. And I'm going to go ahead and get them both prepped. And I'll set this one here. I'll take the lid off of this one. And I'll clean this one off from the outside. Remember, I'm going to put in a nice clean sample into the cell to get a reading. So, I'm going to pick it up by the top. You'll see that when I pick this up by the top here, I'm transferring it directly over here. Place it in the cell. Push it in, make sure it's all good. And I'm going to hit close the lid, that's always a good one, and hit read. Now here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get a value. And for this value here, it says 5.7. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to put my second sample in. Right, the one that was over here. Notice I'm trying to touch it to the top as much as possible. I want to keep away from any oil or gunk or grime from touching the sides. Remember, it's reading it with a laser of light. It's going to read it. I've already zeroed it. So I got a 5.7 and a 5.0, and I would find my averages. So that's what I got for you solving for or completing for dissolved oxygen.